आ गया ना। हेलो हेलो हेलो। Very good morning everyone. How are you all? Everyone fine? Okay. So last class means the first class of CA Final Financial Reporting. We started the Ind AS introduction. We have not completed it. Okay. So let us complete the Ind AS introduction part. We have understood what actually Ind AS is. Correct? And what is the difference between Ind AS and accounting standard? Got this point? Accounting standard CA inter, Ind AS CA final means the company to which Ind AS is not applicable to them, accounting standard will be applicable, which has been notified under Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006. And the company to which Ind AS is applicable, all the Ind AS which are notified under companies in Indian Accounting Standards Rule 2015 will be applicable. Then we were discussing about the roadmap to which companies Ind AS will be applicable. We have done only the part of our general companies. When I say general company, it means any company which are other than banking company, insurance company and NBFC. So first it was applicable on voluntary basis from which date? From 1st April 2015. Not mandatory, voluntary basis. Means any company which are general company can adopt Ind AS on a voluntary basis. Got this point? Then it was applicable on mandatory basis from phase 1. Phase 1 start from 1st April 2016. In this I will say all the listed company or all the unlisted company having a net worth of 500 crore or more than 500 crore, Ind AS will be applicable. And any parent company, subsidiary company, associate company or joint venture company of that company to which Ind AS is applicable, to them also Ind AS will be applicable from 1st April 2016. Then we have also understood that net worth should be checked for 3 previous financial year. In any one of the financial year, if the net worth meet the criteria, then Ind AS will be applicable. 3 financial year you have understood. Then it was also applicable to some more company from phase 2. That was from 1st April 2017. Now all the listed company which was not covered in phase 1 will be also covered from phase 2. An unlisted company having a net worth of 250 crore or more now will be under the purview of Ind AS from phase 2. And also parent company, associate company, joint venture, subsidiary of that company, to them also Ind AS will be applicable. Once again net worth will be checked for the 4 previous financial year. Got this point? Yes sir. Then coming to for scheduled commercial bank means banking company. So whenever we say banking company, so of course we are discussing about scheduled bank. Scheduled bank. You know about which bank are scheduled bank? Any bank which are listed in the schedule of RBI Act, that becomes scheduled bank. Most of the bank are scheduled bank only. But excluding RRB. RRB means what? Regional Rural Bank. They are not under the purview of Ind AS. So to regional rural bank, Ind AS will not be applicable. So when I am saying scheduled bank, it means excluding what? RRB. And insurance company and non-banking financial company. Now what happened? To banking company, initially it was notified that Ind AS will be applicable from 1st April 2018. Then it was deferred to 1st April 2019. Then our Banking Regulation Act says that no, we are not yet prepared for adoption of Ind AS, and then it was deferred until now it is not notified. It means now, as of now, Ind AS is not applicable to banking company. Why Ind AS is not applicable to banking company? Because we have a specific act. Now, if Ind AS is applicable to banking act, we need to amend what? Banking Regulation Act, which in India will take time. Understood? So therefore, now, as of now, can I say to scheduled commercial bank, Ind AS is not applicable. So it has been deferred. It has been deferred till the notification. The notification was dated this. This date is not important. Only we need to understand that as of now, Ind AS is not applicable to banking company. Similar to insurance company. Initially, as per the roadmap, whatever is given by the rules, to insurance company it was applicable from a date 1st April 2019. Then it was deferred. Until now, it has not been implemented. Means Ind AS is not applicable to insurance company also. Means, thank you very much. Insurance company and banking company, Ind AS is not applicable. Got this point? Have you understood this point? Yes, sir. Now coming to non-banking financial company, because NBFC we do not have any specific act. So whenever we do not have any specific act, then what is applicable? General Act. And General Act means general rules will be applicable, and therefore some roadmap has been given. And to them also there are two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 1 will start from 1st April 2018. Then second phase will 1st April 2019. Means I hope you understood. We started from 1st April 2015, then 16, then 17. This become 18 and 19. So I hope you can remember it. There is no need to memorize it. It will be in your mind forever. Got this point? Now NBFC, same companies are there. As we have done for general companies, same thing is given. You can read. If from phase 1, from 1st April 2018, all the NBFC which whether listed or unlisted having a net worth of 500 crore or more, Ind AS will be applicable from which date? From 1st April 2018. And to their parent company, subsidiary company, associate, joint venture also, Ind AS will be applicable from that date. Got this point? In this also, net worth will be checked for the 3 previous financial year. Now 3 previous financial year, you need to think from 1st April 2018. So it will be 17-18, 16-17 and 15-16. Once again, any 1 year the net worth meet the criteria, Ind AS will be applicable to that NBFC. Got this point? Then similarly, phase 2 from 1st April 2019. Phase 2 from 1st April 2019. Now all listed NBFC will come under the purview. Means which are not covered in phase 1 will be covered in phase 2. Unlisted NBFC having a net worth of 250 crore or more, that will come under the purview of Ind AS from 1st April 2019. Got this point? And then parent company, associate company, subsidiary company, joint venture of that above company will be Ind AS will be applicable from that date. I hope nothing to explain. You have understood. In this also, net worth will be checked for the previous 4 financial year. So starting from 15-16, 16-17, 17-18 and 18-19, in any 1 year, net worth meet the criteria, Ind AS will be applicable. Got this point? Now initially when there was no multiple choice question, I used to say question will never come from this. Means when there was no MCQ, teaching was very easy. Because we were knowing from which part question will come. Because if the question if they are creating a descriptive question, that will be minimum of 4 marks. And at a CA final level for 4 marks, they will never ask this type of questions. Got this point? But with MCQs, now this chapter become important. Anytime 2 marks question can come from this particular topic. But very easy. But the point is that will you revise this chapter before exam? That is only one criteria. I say in the first class, if first complete the syllabus, then revision. Any student who completed syllabus on time and revise as per their planning, they will pass the examination. Any student who do not complete the class on time and are not able to revise properly, they will not be able to pass. This is only funda. If you understood this particular rules, CA final is very easy. But the question is that will you apply this in your life? Because it is very difficult, because you are not under any control. Got this point? Because I will control you only to the extent of the 3 hours. After that, can I control you? And of course, just try to understand, if you are in recorded classes, then I can't control you. Live classes, I can't control you. Got this point? So that discipline is required. Every day I will say one word for discipline. If you maintain discipline, CA find it easy. Every day I will say, every day I will inform you, because I know you are not disciplined. Got this point? Yes, sir. Coming to one special point, already I have said in the last class, the voluntary adoption of Ind AS is only applicable to general company. Means can I say banking company, insurance company and NBFC cannot adopt Ind AS voluntarily. Cannot adopt Ind AS voluntarily. Means any company which is general company, whether they can adopt Ind AS voluntarily. Any company which is general company, whether they can adopt Ind AS voluntary today also. As of now also, yes, even though they does not meet the criteria. Even though they does not meet the criteria. Got this point? Yes, sir. Then for mutual fund, one doubt came. There was no circular issued for mutual fund. Means there was no roadmap for mutual fund. So one doubt came. What about mutual fund? Therefore, with a notification given by SEBI, it was given a clarification that for mutual fund also Ind AS will be applicable. I hope you all know about mutual funds. If you don't know, refer your AFM faculty. Correct? The mutual fund, I know what actually mutual fund mean, you know, but detailed discussion I think your AFM teacher will do. This is not a part of syllabus. Means mutual fund financial statement is not in our syllabus. So they will never ask a question for mutual fund. Applicability they can ask. It is applicable now, as of now, to all the mutual fund schemes. Ind AS will be applicable. Got this point? Have you understood? Yes, sir. Now some points which is required to understand. First, Ind AS is applicable for both consolidated and separate financial statement. So what do you mean by consolidated financial statement? Of course you know. Correct? And what is separate financial statement? Of course you know. Means a parent company will prepare two set of financial statement. A parent company will prepare two set of financial statement. One is their own financial statement, that is known as separate financial statement. One is what? Group company financial statement, that is known as consolidated financial statement. So one clarification has been given. Ind AS is applicable for both consolidated and individual, or we can say separate financial statement. Then what is the meaning of net worth? So how we will calculate net worth? How we will calculate net worth? When I say net worth, what comes in your mind? When I say net worth means what? All asset minus all liability. All asset minus all liability. But just try to understand, if there is no definition given, how to, which asset to be considered, which liability to consider, that will be a doubtful. And can I say every company will calculate net worth as per their choice? So one clarification has been given. Net worth meaning will be as per definition given in Companies Act. Means you need to apply the definition as per Companies Act. So as per Companies Act, net worth means paid up share capital. Can I say equity is equal to asset minus liability? So either you calculate net worth from capital side or from asset minus liability side. Both answer will remain same. Correct? So the definition of net worth is given from equity approach, not from asset minus liability approach. So in exam also we need to follow this. In exam also we need to follow this only. You can't do asset minus liability. Got this point? Yes, sir. So paid up share capital. Now when I say paid up share capital, whether it will include preference share capital? Yes, of course it will include. So it will be equity share capital plus preference share capital. Equity share capital plus preference share capital. It will also include all the reserve and surplus created out of profit. Now normally can I say reserve and surplus is created out of profit? Created out of profit. Can you give me some examples of reserve and surplus which is not created out of profit? Revaluation reserve. It means that will not be considered. That will not be considered. Any other reserve? In amalgamation chapter you have done one capital reserve. You remember amalgamation chapter? Maja aaya. Difference, goodwill or capital reserve. So that capital reserve whatever we have created, that is due to amalgamation, that is not due to profit. So that will also not be considered. So two reserve and surplus which is not created out of profit will not be considered. So what are the two examples? Revaluation reserve and capital reserve in amalgamation chapter. In amalgamation chapter I am saying. Got this point? So, but does not include reserve created out of revaluation of asset and amalgamation. One more example is there, securities premium. Yes, securities premium is also not created out of profit. Correct? No. What I am saying, whether it is created out of profit or not, it is not created out of profit. My question to you all, whether securities premium is a reserve, whether securities premium is a reserve. Bolo, yes or no? You are not supposed to think so much. Whatever you know, you can say now. Correct? Yes or no? So why it is shown under the head reserve and surplus? Why it is shown under the head reserve and surplus? Bolo, have you asked this question to your CA interfaculty? If you are saying no, so it means you are correct. So have you asked this type of question from your CA interfaculty? Yes or no? Now, this is the only difference between CA inter and CA final. In CA inter, you need to only understand what and how. But in CA final, why? Correct? So why it is shown under the head reserve and surplus? Because of our Bakwas Companies Act. Because of our Bakwas Companies Act. Our Companies Act says securities premium should be shown under the head reserve and surplus. But securities premium is nothing but amount received from owner. It is a part of capital only. It is a part of capital. I'll discuss about securities premium. Some more detailed discussion will do, but in the later part of the class. Okay, sir. But I hope you have understood that securities premium is shown under the head reserve and surplus only because of Bakwas Companies Act, and therefore they have added securities premium separately because it is not created out of profit, but it will be part of net worth. It will be part of net worth. Got this point? Then can you see if you are adding reserve and surplus created out of profit, so of course you deduct all the accumulated losses. All the accumulated losses, so any accumulated losses means debit balance of PL account. Debit, or you can say negative surplus. You can say negative surplus. That will be also deducted. So accumulated losses will be deducted. Okay. Now, do you know about deferred expenditure and miscellaneous expenditure not yet written off? Deferred expenditure and miscellaneous expenditure not yet written off. Do you know? I'm asking to you, yes or no. Do you know about deferred expenditure and miscellaneous expenditure not yet written off? No, you don't know. Very good, because it does not exist. Because it does not exist. There is no concept of deferred expenditure. There is no concept of miscellaneous expenditure now. Correct? This definition has been taken from Companies Act, not from our Ind AS or accounting standard. As per AS 26, because you have done AS 26, any expenditure which does not meet a definition of intangible asset will be charged to profit and loss account immediately. There are some example, I think in CA Foundation you might have done. CA Foundation you might have done. CA Inter if you have done, that is 100% wrong. Because in CA Foundation you were not having accounting standard. And it is quite possible CA Foundation you have done from non-chartered accountant. So some of your teacher might have said use advertisement expenditure. That will be charged to PL account on some proportionate basis every year. So that become an example of deferred revenue expenditure, but as per AS 26, such expenditure will be charged to profit and loss account immediately. Correct? But can I say, abhi right now we are doing meaning as per what? Companies Act. Companies Act says that if any expenditure which is not charged to PL account immediately, so that is deferred. So that is also one type of losses. That is also one type of losses now. Any expenditure which is not charged to PL account immediately, so that is deferred. So that will have debit balance. If that is a debit balance, that will come in the asset side of the balance sheet. So that also represent what? Accumulated losses. So that should be also deducted. Got this point what I am saying? But there is no such example for this. Means if you ask me example, I don't have any example for this. If in exam for this particular type of question, if suppose they have given deferred expenditure, you can't say that you don't know anything. You need to deduct it. You need to deduct it. Got this point? So any expenditure which is not yet written off, not yet written off means not yet charged to profit and loss account, will be also considered a loss, and loss will be also deducted from this net worth to find out the net worth for the purpose of this particular chapter. For the purpose of this particular chapter means for the purpose of roadmap. Understood? Doubt? No. Dekho, I said initially, do you know any example? You said no. Dekho, first thing, just try to understand. So when I am asking you, do you know any example? That time you said no. Then I have given one example. You might have done that. Now you are thinking, sir, that yes, sir, it is an example. Now you are saying that advertisement expenditure is an example of deferred expenditure. You are saying now. It means you have done that point where in CA Foundation. I know what you have done in CA Inter and CA Foundation. So I am here to rectify what you have done in CA Foundation and CA Inter also. Got this point? Just try to understand. Right now I am not teaching you AS 26. And I have not started Ind AS 38, which is similar to what AS 26. So dhire you will become expert. But what I am saying is now there is no concept of deferred expenditure. We will do Ind AS 38, and also you have done AS 26. But I know what you have done in AS 26. You have done, but you don't know anything about that. That is a fact, because you pass CA Inter examination only because of working knowledge, only because of practice, but not because of concept. Yes or no? That is the fact. And you have to accept it. You have to accept it. Then only you will change. When you will change? When you know your limitations. When you will try to change? When you know your limitation. Even though it is quite possible you have scored 80 plus in your advanced accounting. Means when I passed my class 12 exam, that time I scored 99 in accounts. 1 mark, that was also calculation mistake. Means 100 out of 100. But when I entered into CA Foundation, I understood I was not knowing anything. So there is a lot of difference between learning accounts at each level. Learning accounts at each level, correct? So it means right now, up to CA Inter, you know only the journal entry, ledger, trial balance, and balance sheet. But now we'll convert you, that is a part of accountant. Accountant means what? They are not chartered accountant. Chartered accountant will never prepare what? Balance sheet. They will present balance sheet. So now we'll convert you from accountant to what? Chartered accountant. So in CA final, you will change yourself from accountant to chartered accountant. This is the only difference. Because journal entry rules is not going to change. That remains same. Debit what? For real account, debit what? Comes in. Credit what? Goes out. For personal account, debit the receiver, credit the giver. And for nominal account, debit all expenses, credit all income. Whether it is going to change, that you have done where? In your basic class of accounts. And the same thing will be applicable here. But now we are not here to take your basic knowledge. Understood? But dhire I will take your basic knowledge also. Not in this class, but slowly, once you are acquainted with me. Okay, sir? Yes, sir. So what I am saying, there is no concept of deferred expenditure now. There is no example. If you ask me any example, I don't have any example. So any advertisement expenditure as per Ind AS 38 coming soon in your life, as per AS 26 already you have done, that will be charged to profit and loss account immediately. Why? I will explain you where. In Ind AS, I have not started Ind AS now. So what deferred expenditure means? Any expenditure which is not charged to PL immediately, that will be deferred. That is one type of losses which is not charged to profit and loss account, so that will be also deducted. So if you know exam for this particular chapter, they have given deferred expenditure, deduct from this to calculate what? Net worth. To calculate net worth. This only you need to understand. Now you have understood how to calculate net worth. Let us come to one question. Question number 1. Question number 1 will do. Yes, sir. Following is the snapshot of audited balance sheet of company as on 31st March 2014. Company A equity shares are listed on Bombay Stock Exchange since 2010. It is a listed company. So batao, we need to, as per the roadmap, which phase company fall into? Which phase company fall into? Means phase 1 or phase 2? Phase 1 or phase 2? So if the net worth is more than what? 500 or 500 crore, means net worth is equal to or more than what? 500 crore. Phase 1. Correct now? And if it is less than 500 crore, phase 2, because it is a listed company. So 160 will be considered. Equity share capital will be considered. Securities premium will be considered. General reserve will be considered. Revaluation reserve will not be considered. Profit and loss account will be considered. Liability will not be considered. Fixed asset will not be considered. Investment will not be considered. Current asset will not be considered. Miscellaneous expenditure not yet written off. If it is given the question, you can't do any argument with the examiner that you don't know anything. Now this does not exist. Got this point? So 80 will be deducted. So 160 plus 200 plus 150 plus 75 minus 80, how much? Fast. You need to bring calculator. Keep your calculator with you because I am not going to calculate. Understood? To any recorded class student, you need to keep the calculator with you. Okay? And don't see solution. You are not supposed to read solution till I say read solution. Solution is given only for after class, not in class. So don't read solution till I say read solution. Okay? Got this point? How much? 505. But phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1. So you got 2 marks MCQs. You got 2 marks MCQs. This type of question can come. One more question asks, will your answer change if the company is an unlisted company? But if it is an unlisted company, your answer remains same or different? It is same only. It is same. So point number A, point number B, you have understood. Now you can read answer whenever you have time. Nothing to explain. Can we move? Bolo. Question number 2. Let's say in question number 1, the balance of PL account is negative 375 crore. Now, what they are saying, this 75 is actually negative 375. So what is the net worth? Check karo. Bolo. Now what is the net worth? 130. Now it is 130 positive or negative? Positive. So if it is a listed company, in which phase? If it is a listed company, which phase? Phase 2. If it is an unlisted company, which phase? No. If it is unlisted company, then Ind AS will not be applicable. For phase 2, it is 250 crore or more than 250 crore. Correct? Understood? Just try to understand what happened. I mean, right now we have done this point, but then also we are not able to recollect it. It does not mean you are not a good student. You are a good student. It means what is required? Revision required. Revision is most important. Retention will come only because of revision. Retention will come only because of revision. Got this point? So yes, correct now. So you can see if it is a listed company, it will come in which phase? Bolo? It's given now. Listed company then phase 2 and unlisted company then Ind AS will not be applicable. Understood? Simple. This type of question can be asked in multiple choice question. Just circle all the question whatever we are doing in the class. Okay, sir. Now, one doubt will come. If this net worth should be calculated as per the financial statement which is prepared as per AS or as per the financial statement which is prepared as per Ind AS. Apply common sense. Understood the question? Net worth you require balance sheet. So that balance sheet should be prepared as per accounting standard or that balance sheet should be prepared as per Ind accounting standard. AS only, because till now the Ind AS is not adopted by that company now. This we are just observing whether it is applicable or not applicable. So they have prepared a balance sheet as per accounting standard. So that clarification has been given. The net worth should be calculated based on the standalone financial statement, not consolidated financial statement. Standalone financial statement as per the existing accounting standard. As per the existing accounting standard. Got this fine? Correct. Means can I say it is quite possible in your exam they have given the parent company and subsidiary company. Correct. Just try to understand one example I am creating. The net worth as per their standalone financial statement. Net worth as per their standalone financial statement. Okay. Standalone financial statement is 500 crore and negative negative 300 crore. It means CFS, it will be more or less 200, more or less 500 minus 300 na. We'll combine it na, more or less, not exactly, but somehow near to this. Arey bolna re. If it is 100% what? They are holding 100% what? Equity share capital of subsidiary company. Now, Ind AS applicability will be as per standalone or consolidated? As per standalone. Means for this company, it is phase 1. For this company, it is which phase? Batao. Phase 1, phase 2. Phase, it is negative 300. Phase 1, phase 2. Everyone saying phase 1. Phase 1, phase 2 not applicable. Not applicable, not understood. Phase 1. Because to parent company, Ind AS applicable. To subsidiary company also Ind AS applicable. Understood? Both phase 1. Both phase 1. Got this point? Yes, sir. Have you understood? Yes, sir. Any doubt? Then one relaxation has been given. What they are saying, कि any company which are listed or in the process of listing in SME stock exchange. SME means small and medium entities, small and medium enterprise. So any companies whose shares or any debentures are listed or in the process of listing in SME stock exchange are not required to follow Ind AS, are not required to comply Ind AS. So some relaxation has been given. So can you give me example of SME stock exchange? Do you know any stock exchange which are SME? We know only 2 stock exchange. One is Bombay, one is National. Bombay Stock Exchange, National Stock Exchange, that are not SME stock exchange. But I don't know whether you know this fact or not. In Hyderabad also there was one stock exchange which is now closed down. In Ahmedabad also there is one stock exchange. I don't know about others. Correct? So there are some stock exchange. For let's say example Ahmedabad Stock Exchange. Correct? And that is, can you say, one type of inactive stock market. Normally we don't trade shares in that market. So that is only a small and medium stock exchange. The definition you need to do as per SEBI guidelines. I'm not teaching you right now what is the meaning of SME stock exchange. Got this point? Now normally what happens, suppose I am a company, I have formed one company. Now if I say I am a listed company, what do you think about this company? It is a good company or small company? If I will say it is a listed company, you say, "Arey, Mukesh Ambani." Yes or no? So therefore, what I will do to create my brand, you have to use trust in the market. I will list my shares in SME stock exchange. Got this point? To avoid high listing fees. To avoid high listing fees. So it means I become listed, but actually I am a small company or big company? Small company only. But to promote my company, I just want to inform to the public that I am a listed company. So if I say I am a listed company, so can I say as a general public, you will never check where it is listed where? Got this point? So normally sometimes happens a small company have listed their shares only in SME stock exchange. So what they are saying, these are small companies, to them Ind AS will not be applicable. So any listed company or any company which are in the process listing in SME stock exchange are not supposed to adopt Ind AS, but they can adopt Ind AS voluntary. They can adopt Ind AS voluntary. Correct? So can this point is also applicable to general companies. So when I am saying this company, this point is also applicable to general companies. Got this point? Because voluntary adoption is only applicable for what? General companies. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Now, any company which adopt Ind AS voluntary for the first time. Now, the question is that whether they can revert it in future. Means in this year they say yes, we'll adopt Ind AS. Now in the second year they are saying no, we don't want to apply Ind AS, we'll apply yes. No. Once adopted, it will be exercised forever. Understood? So once a company voluntarily follow Ind AS, it is irrevocable. It cannot be changed. It cannot be changed. Okay. Yes, sir. One point already we have understood, any company to which the roadmap is not applicable, to them existing accounting standard will be applicable. So any company which are not covered by roadmap shall continue to apply the existing accounting standard which are notified under Companies Accounting Standard Rules 2006. Simple. Yes, sir. one clarification has been given कि law will always prevail over Ind AS. Of course, any act will always prevail over AS as well as Ind AS. AS as well as Ind AS. Correct? Means, I'll just give an example. Just try to understand. When I am saying capital contribution by owner. Yeah. If you remember, the first journal entry in your basic classes of accounts was capital contribution journal entry. You remember? The first journal entry of your life. Cash account debit to capital. Yes or no? Now, can you say me what journal entry you have done in proprietorship firm? You know proprietorship? Proprietorship, partnership, and company. Initially, in your basic classes, they have given information about proprietorship. Then they started partnership. Then they started company. And your life changed after companies. Your struggle start after companies only. Believe me, up to partnership, it was okay. You were able to understand everything. But once company entered in your life, that application money, call money, final call, sab upar. If you have not understood that time, if you have understood, then accounts was very easy. Remember this fact. Remember that days, old days. Now, of course, you are comfortable with company. I am saying about that days, initial days. Now, you know companies because you pass CA inter examination. Yes or no? Now, proprietorship, what is journal entry? Cash account debit to capital. And you are happy. You are happy now. Correct? Then in partnership, what was the entry? Cash account debit to partners capital. But it is capital only now. Means whatever amount contributed by the owner will be transferred to capital account. But suddenly, in company, the journal entry changed. Now, our teacher started saying in company will pass this journal entry. The journal entry was cash account debit to share capital, and share capital will be recorded at nominal value, and anything received over and above what? Nominal value will be transferred to what? You remember that days? Your teacher have said this only now. This share capital will be at nominal value, and anything transferred, anything received over and above nominal value. If nominal value is 10 and you are receiving 12, the 2 rupees will be transferred to securities premium. But why? Why, Baba? What actually happened? Nee, but that question, that days, this doubt came or not? What happened? Achanak say, what actually happened? Here okay, here. You are receiving some amount from shareholders, they are owner of the company or not. So that should be transferred to what? Capital only. And why capital will be shown in nominal value? What is nominal value? Achha, what is face value? Batao. Nominal value is face value, na? What is face value? Face value is value of shares. Totally wrong answer. Face value is not the value of shares. Face value is not the value of shares. So what is face value? When I am saying face value of shares, that is not a value of shares. Value of shares, you need to go to the market. The face value is not a value of shares. Yes or no? Even though face value is 10, the issue price can be 100. So 100 is what? The value of shares. So what is face value? Recorded in books. Authorized. Please, dekho, understood what actually happened in your previous classes? You know everything, but you don't know. This only you need to change. You will change this in CA final, not only in this subject, in all subject. Now you need to ask why. Even though that is not relevant from exam point of view, I know this type of question they will never ask in CA final. But as a CA, you should know or not. In case this is the last time you are coming for coaching class, in for accounts, again you will come. No, sir, no. Yes or no? So face value is actually a bakwas value. The definition, if you want to know, any value which is denominated, yeah, I will say mentioned on the face of share certificate, that become face value. But it is actually bakwas value. This value will be given by the promoter of the company as per their choice. Means suppose I am started in company, I am the promoter of the company, you will ask me, so what is the face value? I will say 1000. 1000 become what? Face value. Or I may say rupees 10 also. Means there is no relevance behind that. Why 1000, why 10? Got this point? The face value is not a value of shares. Now the question arises, why we are recording share capital at nominal value? Bakwas. Bakwas na. Are bolna re. Why we are recording share capital nominal value? Bakwas or not? What is nominal value? Bakwas value. Now once again, the reason is what? Due to Companies Act. So if somebody asks you why we are passing this journal entry, the reason is what? Due to Companies Act, and we cannot violate what? Companies Act. However, Ind AS, we have not done Ind AS. There is no accounting standard on equity. For equity share capital, have you done any accounting standard? But we have Ind accounting standard for capital. Now our Ind AS says, as per Ind AS, if you read Ind AS 32, just write down 32, because coming soon in your life, Ind AS 32. Ind AS 32 says, whatever you receive from equity participant will be transferred to equity. The journal entry is cash account debit to equity. Simply this is journal entry. Equity means capital. Capital and equity are interchangeable terms. Means same journal entry na. Whatever you have done for progressive, same journal entry. Now just try to understand, if this journal entry would have been given in your basic classes, doubt would have never come. Yes or no? Means unnecessary companies have made our accounting complicated. And then our Companies Act says, Bakwas Companies Act says, securities premium will be shown under the head reserve and surplus. And it is not a profit for the company. Why you are showing under the head reserve and surplus? Totally bakwas. But can you violate this? No. So Ind AS says this, but company law will prevail over what? Ind AS. Till there is some amendment under Companies Act. I have just given one example. What is the meaning of this? Have you understood this meaning? The law will prevail over Ind AS. Got this point? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can we proceed? Yes, sir. Now, one doubt will come. Suppose there is one parent company. There is one parent company. And there is a foreign subsidiary. Foreign subsidiary of this parent company. This is Indian company. This is Indian company. And this is a listed company. So as of now, Ind AS is applicable or not? As of now, Ind AS is applicable. Now the question is that, now we know that any subsidiary company of this parent company, Ind AS will be applicable. Now this foreign company, whether Ind AS will be applicable or not applicable, what do you think? Applicable, not applicable? How it is applicable? It is a foreign subsidiary. Companies Act is not applicable only. Whether Indian Companies Act is applicable? No. Are Companies Act means I am saying about Indian Companies Act. When I say Companies Act 2013 means what? Indian Companies Act. Whether Companies Act will be applicable to foreign companies? No. It means they will apply as per their act, their regulations. And suppose, let's say IFRS is applicable. Suppose IFRS is applicable. Yes or no? Suppose this company was listed in London Stock Exchange and now IFRS is applicable. Quite possible or not? Are bolna re? Correct. Now, whether these are same, Ind AS and IFRS are same. Whether Ind AS and IFRS same or not same? Not same. Because already we have understood there are some differences, so they are not same. So you can't say that to foreign subsidiaries Ind AS is applicable. You can't say to foreign subsidiaries Ind AS is applicable. Correct. Now one doubt will come. So this is a parent company. This will prepare. Of course, there is no doubt about standalone financial statement. But doubt will come for what? Consolidated financial statement. So how to prepare CFS? Because can you combine this? No. We can't combine this. So one clarification has been given that this foreign subsidiary will provide information to this parent company based on what? Based on what? Ind AS. Based on Ind AS. For which purpose? Consolidation purpose, not for reporting purpose. For reporting purpose, they are preparing their own financial statement as per IFRS. But for consolidation purpose, this foreign subsidiary will provide information to parent company based on Ind AS. So one clarification has been given. Clarification you understood? Clarification you understood? Yes sir. Can we move? Yes sir. This is a clarification. I will say important. I am expecting one question on this in exam. When I say expected, it is expected. Means it is probable. Probable means chances are more than 50%. Chances are more than 50% does not mean 90%. Nah? So it is expected. Got this point? Yes sir. So it is a relief that an overseas subsidiaries, overseas matlab foreign subsidiaries, foreign associate, foreign joint venture of Indian company is not required to prepare standalone financial statement as per Ind AS. However, this entity will still have to report their Ind AS adjusted number for their Indian parent company to prepare consolidated Ind AS account. One question is given and I am expecting this question in your exam. Question number 7. Let us read. Question number 7. ABC Incorporation incorporated in a foreign country has a net worth of 700 crore. Can you prepare that flow chart by your own? ABC Incorporation incorporated in a foreign country has a net worth of 700 crore. It has two subsidiaries, Company X, whose net worth as on 31st March 2014 is 600 crore, and Company Y, whose net worth is 150 crore. Whether Company X and Y would require to follow Ind AS from accounting period commencing from 1st April 2016 on the basis of their net worth or on the basis of net worth of ABC Incorporation. Have you understood the question? Bolo. So what they are saying, ABC Incorporation has a net worth of what? 700 crore. It is a foreign company, has two subsidiaries X and Y. Correct. X, what is the net worth? 600 crore. Y, what is the net worth? 150 crore. What is the answer? But 2x Ind AS applicable or not? Yes, applicable. Applicable. Listed, unlisted, applicable or not? To Y, applicable, not applicable. To ABC Incorporation, net worth is 700 crore. Whether to Y, Ind AS is applicable or not applicable? Not applicable. Because these are not under the purview of what? Companies Act. So to ABC Incorporation, Ind AS is not applicable. So this is what? Not applicable. Got this point? Not applicable. Any doubt? What is the answer given? Check karo. Since the foreign company ABC Incorporation is not a company incorporated under Companies Act, it is not required to prepare its financial statement as per company's Indian accounting standard rules. As the foreign company is not required to prepare financial statement based on Ind AS, net worth of foreign company ABC Limited would not be the basis for deciding whether Indian subsidiary company X Limited and company Y Limited are required to prepare the financial statement based on Ind AS. This only I have said, but they have not given the conclusion. You can write on the conclusion to company X, Ind AS is applicable, to company Y, Ind AS is not applicable. Conclusion they have not given. Okay. Can we move? Can we move? Yes, sir. The last point, before two more clarification, company cannot adopt IFRS as a substitution for Ind AS. Have you understood English? No. Let me explain. Sometimes we feel that we have understood, but actually we have not understood. Don't say yes. Because if you say yes, I will start asking question. Once you are saying yes, it means you are now ready for exam, na? Are bolna re? Then I will ask question, and then if you are not able to give answer, then this is not correct, na? So never say yes. Say no, sir, because you are coming here for clarification only. What is this point? See, suppose there is one existing company, X Limited, is listed in Indian Stock Exchange and London Stock Exchange. So can you say, as per the requirement of Indian Stock Exchange existing, till now Ind AS is not applicable. Means I am just saying before 1/4/2016. So they are preparing their financial statement based on what? AS. And because they are also listed in London Stock Exchange, so they need to also fulfill the requirement of London Stock Exchange, and therefore they are also preparing financial statement as per IFRS. Got this point? Means at one point of time they are preparing two financial statements based on the requirement of two stock exchange. Now, because it meet the criteria, net worth criteria, now from 1/4/2016 Ind AS is applicable. Ind AS is applicable. So what company is saying? X Limited is saying, because already we have adopted what? Means already we are preparing financial statement based on IFRS. There is no need to adopt what? Ind AS. So whether this IFRS can be used as a substitution of Ind AS? No. This is the clarification. No. You need to change this financial statement AS to what? Ind AS. You cannot change this financial statement to what? IFRS to Ind AS. Means whenever you adopt Ind AS, so you are changing the financial statement which were already prepared as per existing accounting standard to what? Ind accounting standard. Got this point? Correct. So this is not correct. You can't change your financial statement from IFRS to what? Ind AS. You need to change from AS to what? Ind AS. So how will change? Now one doubt will come. So how will change? So how will change this financial statement from AS to Ind AS? So some guidelines will be given, and for that there is one Ind AS 101 coming soon in your life. Refer Ind AS 101. Ind AS 101 is for first time adoption of Ind AS. First time adoption of Ind AS. So that will do. How to change? That we discuss under Ind AS 101. That will be our last chapter, because that can be understood only when you have understood Ind AS. Chalega? Yes, sir. Now two more clarification. What they have given, just try to understand. Suppose there is one Indian company, apply your common sense. Suppose this point I have not done in class, but suddenly this point came in exam. Can you blame me in exam hall? No. In exam hall you don't blame me. After exam you call me, whatever you want to say me, say. But in exam hall, apply your common sense. If you apply common sense, 90% of time your answer will be correct. 90% means common sense as per CA. As per CA means assume you are CA, in that situation what would have been done? Correct? So I am just creating one case study. So Indian company, which is a parent company, and because listed, what is applicable? Ind AS is applicable. Now this Indian company, actually this is also Indian company, by mistake I have written Indian company. Both are Indian company. It has a subsidiary company, but this subsidiary company is a banking company or insurance company or NBFC. So right now we are into 1/4/2016, because as on 1/4/2016 NBFC Ind AS was not applicable. Correct. Now the question is that to this parent company, what is applicable? Because it is a listed company. Now it is given that any parent company, any subsidiary, any associate, any joint venture of above company Ind AS will be applicable. Now apply your common sense whether to this banking company, which is a subsidiary of this parent company, Ind AS will be applicable or not applicable? Applicable, not applicable? Not applicable. Applied common sense, 100% correct. 100% correct. Can you say any example? No, out of syllabus will not do. Means any new question is not out of syllabus now. Now what are the excuses made by the student is a new question. Arey bhai, new question means whether you want same to same question whatever is given in ICS study material, whether you want that same to same questions, then it is just like class 12 exam. Means new question does not mean you will not pass na. Normally what happens, these are the all excuses. Means what actually happened, just try to understand. Means Ind AS was first applicable from May 2018 attempt. From May 18 till now, whatever exam has been conducted by ICI, in all the FR exam, means I am just saying the attempt when Ind AS was applicable for the first time. Before that AS was applicable, means when I have done CA final, in my syllabus only there was accounting standard. What is what I am saying? Means till now, except one exam, there is only one exam, except one exam. That is also, I will say, Jan 2021. This was one exception exam due to COVID-19. That time, Jan 2021, there were two exams for the same attempt and some opt-out scheme was given. I think that time you were in CA Inter. For CA Inter also same thing was applicable. Except this exam, all exam, I will say 85 to 90% question, 85 to 90% questions are from ICI resource. ICI resource means what? ICI study material, RTP, MTP and past exam. Only one question of 10 marks or 14 marks. Normally the question paper will be of 114 marks. 114 marks. So 114 into 90% how much? 102 marks, means 100 marks paper is from ICI resource. But the question paper is easy or complicated? Easy only. Right now you are saying easy. In your exam you will say tough. I have never understood if the question is coming from ICI study material, how the question paper can be difficult. How the question paper can be difficult? Means the question paper cannot be easier than this. They will do little modification, they will change the number, they will change the name of the company. It does not mean you have not done the concept. It means revision you are not doing. It means you are not regular. It means you are not disciplined. And then you give excuse because of that one question which is out of book. You are saying question paper is lengthy. These are only excuses. These are only excuses. Got this point? The first class I said, stop giving excuses. If you stop giving excuses, you will become C. Correct? This Jan 2021, this was only one exam in which all question was out of book. Means all question were new question, not out of syllabus. I'm not saying out of syllabus. Out of book means new question. But it does not mean it is not out, not from the syllabus. From the syllabus, but all questions were newly created because student has taken panga from ICI. They demanded for the another attempt. Not that time. They said never take panga from your godfather. Understood? That is okay. That is some other point. But what I just want to say, in your exam, चलो 90% छोड़ दो. If I am saying 70% question is from ICI study material, then also question paper easy only na. Means what you want from ICI. From my point of view, if you give me a question paper to set, I will give all questions from out of book. Then only we can check whether he is eligible to become CA or not. Then only we can check. How can we decide based on the question given ICI study material? There can be many rectification student also. Rectification student means they know the page number also. In this page number, this question has been given. Can you compete with that type of student? Are bola rahe? There are many students. It might happen you have also that power. That is the power given by God. You can memorize anything. But I will say 90% students do not have that memorizing skill. Bolna, yes or no? So now you need to compete with that student who can memorize anything. And this is difficult. So I will say question paper should be out of book only. Not out of syllabus. Out of book. But if the question paper is coming from the book, it is not difficult exam. So why we are not able to answer it? Two reasons. Because we have not completed the syllabus. We have not completed a revision. Revision minimum what? 2 times. Minimum I am saying. If you can do 3 times, 4 times, then you can think about rank also. Rank. Means whenever you speak to rank student, they will say I have done 3 times, 4 times revision. Sometimes 2 times also rank will come. Minimum is that. But most of the students will say 4 times complete revision we have done. For most of the subject. One subject they have done 2 times, but for most of the subject they will do 4 times revision. And then perfection will come. Got this? Yes, sir. So I hope you have understood the fact. Same thing is given here. Can you read this point by your own? Where a parent is a non-finance company. Non-finance company means it is not a banking company. It is not an insurance company. It is not an NBFC. Covered under Ind AS and has a NBFC banking or insurance subsidiary, associate or a joint venture. The parent has to prepare Ind AS compliant consolidated financial statement, and the NBFC, banking company, insurance company, subsidiary, associate or joint venture has to prepare the relevant financial statement data in accordance with the accounting policy followed by the parent company for consolidation purpose. Means one clarification is given to them Ind AS is not applicable, but can you say they need to provide information to what? Parent company based on what? Ind AS for which purpose? Only for consolidation purpose. Means indirectly Ind AS is applicable. Indirectly applicable, but not for reporting purpose. Not for reporting purpose. Reporting purpose and consolidation purpose, you are understanding? Yes, sir. Same thing, reverse example. Reverse example is what? Suppose there is one banking company or insurance company or NBFC and it is a parent company. So right now they are preparing their financial statement as per AS or as per their regulation act. Now they have a subsidiary company. They have a subsidiary company which is a listed company. And to them what is applicable? Ind AS is applicable. Correct. Now the question is that to this banking company whether AS is applicable or Ind AS is applicable. AS is applicable, but now CFS will be prepared by whom? Now CFS will be based on AS or Ind AS? AS. So they will provide what? Information based on what? AS. For which purpose? Consolidation purpose. This will be, I will say, थोड़ा सा first this company they need to provide information based on AS even though they are preparing based on Ind AS, but we don't have any choice. Got this point? Yes, sir. Now you can read the second clarification where the NBFC banking company or insurance company is a parent and prepare CFS as per AS, and its subsidiaries, associate and joint venture are non-finance company and are not required to prepare financial statement as per and are required to prepare financial statement as per Ind AS. Thus, subsidiary, associate and joint ventures shall prepare financial statement as per Ind AS. However, such subsidiaries, associate and joint venture has to provide a relevant financial statement data in accordance with the accounting policy followed by parent company. For which purpose? Consolidation purpose. One diagram has been given to explain this. Understood. Chapter over. Chapter 2 over. Nothing was there. I have taken time. Means it is a chapter of 5, but 20 minutes only. But first class, okay. Now, can I ask you one case study? Apply. Common sense. Means this question actually I used to ask to all my students when such question was not given in ICS study material. And same question was given in ICS study material. Means whenever I'm asking some question, even though that question is not given in ICS study material, that is also important. So if I am writing some example, you also write. You also write. Okay. Right now, though, this become one question. I will come to that question, but first apply your common sense. There is one parent company. It has S1, S2. This S1 has S3, S4. S matlab subsidiary. P means parent company. And this is S5 and S6. Now to this S1 was a listed company. And other companies are not listed company. Now their net worth is equal to or more than 250 crore. Correct? Now you will say to which Ind AS is applicable. But to S1, Ind AS applicable, not applicable? Applicable. Yes, applicable. To P, yes or no? Yes, applicable. To S3, yes, applicable or not? To S4, yes or no? I think in this note, parent company means P, S3, S4, Ind AS will be applicable. Now, to S2, Ind AS applicable, not applicable? Yes or no? Yes or no? How many are saying yes? How many are saying no? Not applicable. Why you are saying no? No. That of this parent company you are saying it is yes. Ind AS is applicable or not? Very good. Means you have understood the fact. Means this is known as interpretation of act. The answer is no only. If you read carefully the rules is what they have given. Parent, subsidiary, associate and joint venture of above. Of above means S1. Yes or no? Not able to understand. This S1 Ind AS is applicable. So parent company, yes, applicable because it is a parent company of S1. This S3 is subsidiary of S1. This S4 subsidiary of S1. To them, the Ind AS will be applicable. But this S2 is a subsidiary P, not S1. So if you read the rules carefully, they have written parent, subsidiaries, associate and joint venture above. So here above is which company? S1. Above is which company? S1. And therefore, as per rule, not applicable. As per rule, not applicable. So your answer was correct. I don't know whether you have given correct explanation or not. Whether it was as per correct explanation or not. But your answer is correct or not. So once again, whenever new questions come, answer it. And leave balance to God. Leave balance to God. God will decide now why you are in trouble. So the objective is what? You need to attempt 100 marks paper, whether you know or whether you don't know. Understood? Objective is what? To attempt 100 marks paper, whether you know or whether you don't know, attempt it. Chalega? This is the only rule. Means if you want to score 50, attempt 100 marks paper, you will score 50. This is only mantra to become CA. If you are writing 90 marks paper, high chances you will not get more than 50. Chalega? Yes, sir. Now one doubt will come, because this parent company will prepare CFS. So in that case, once again, they need to provide information to this parent company based on what? Ind AS. Got this point? A similar question has been given. I like to read that question, which is the question, I think, question number 6 only. Following is the structure of company D. Company D, company E, company F, company G, company H, company I. This is subsidiary of D, subsidiary of D, subsidiary of B, associate of E, and subsidiary of H. All the company in the above structure are unlisted company, and the net worth of company E means this, is 300 crore. It means Ind AS is applicable from phase 2, yes or no? And the net worth of all other company is below 250 crore. To which company would Ind AS be applicable? So company D Ind AS applicable, company F and company G Ind AS applicable. For company H and company I, Ind AS is not applicable. But to them, they need to provide information for consolidation purpose based on what? Ind AS. Can you read the solution? Better you read the last para only. Last para. Done? Correct. Now this question number 9, there is one word, joint arrangement. I mean, right now you don't know what is joint arrangement. So this question number 9, do after Ind AS 111. Just write down and leave. Means even though you read some point, you will not be able to understand. And I don't want to explain right now what is joint arrangement. Correct, because that will be covered in a separate chapter. Apart from this question number 9, all questions you can do by rote. So all the balance question will be your homework. Means most of the questions I have only done. But now it will be your duty to complete today only balance question. That will give you confidence. Okay. So now we are in a position to start the first Ind AS of our life. First Ind AS of our life. Okay. Now, how I have designed my structure of teaching, initially I will take only those Ind AS which are similar to AS. Similar means only very little difference. For example, AS 29. What was AS 29? Provision, contingent, liability, contingent asset. Ind AS 37, same. Only, I will say, 5% difference. If you know AS 29, you know Ind AS 37. Nothing to teach only. So initially, I will take those Ind AS. Once you all be comfortable with me, I will enter into CA final. Correct? So what is the objective? First, I will correct you from CA inter point of view. Because even though you know AS 29, but I know what you know. So don't worry, I will teach from beginning as if you don't know AS 29. Don't worry about that. Because if I will assume you know AS 29, so only 5 points I need to teach. And actually that should be the only criteria, because you pass CA inter examination. Yes or no? Because if you know AS 29, so I should only teach what at 5 point, Ind AS 37 completed. But I know, even though you have understood, you might have forgotten. Nothing to worry, I will teach as if you don't know anything. Correct? But in this time period, when I am taking these small Ind AS which are similar to what? Accounting standard, that time any queries, whatever you were having in CA Inter, that you need to ask me. Even though 90% time I will only answer. But now you need to ask me why. And convert yourself from CA Inter student to CA final student. Chalega? We will start today with Ind AS 37. Ind AS 37. Ind AS 37. Normally every FR faculty will start with Ind AS 1. Ind AS 1 is presentation of financial statement. Means discussion about balance sheet, statement of PL, etc. But I don't start with Ind AS 1. There is some reason. Reason you will understand when I will do Ind AS 1. Okay? So don't compare that, sir. Other faculty started from there. Right now you are with me. So listen whatever I am doing. Okay? So what is the name of the chapter? Provision, contingent liability and contingent asset. Okay? Ind AS 37. Don't worry about this Ind AS number. You will be habituated of this. Means end of the class all number will be in your mind. And start speaking from Ind AS number wise. So these Ind AS numbers are very important. In exam, Ind AS 37 means Ind AS 37. And if they have asked some case study based question, you need to mention Ind AS 37. Got this point? And nothing to worry about that. This will be in your mind forever once the class is completed. Okay, sir? Now, before I start a chapter, because you have similar to AS 29, so can I ask you some question to check what is your knowledge of AS 29? My first question is that, what is provision? What is provision? Now, to all recorded class student or live online class student, even though I am virtually available to you, you need to frame the answer in your mind. Means even though I am not physically present to you, but you need to frame your answer in your mind. This is the meaning of provision as per your knowledge. What is the meaning of provision? Anyone? Bolo. Provision is an uncertain event. So one answer I got, provision is an uncertain event. Any addition to this definition? One by one. Nothing to fight. One by one. One second. Which is more probable on happening. More probable means what? More probable means what? High chances. High chances means what? More than 50%. Okay. Means for all expenses. Which expenses? Uncertain expenses. For uncertain expenses, we create provision. For uncertain expenses. For certain expense also we create provision. Uncertain, it can be certain also. It can be certain, it can be uncertain. Chalo, theek hai. The first question, whatever you have said, I understood what you want to say. Now, second question, what is the difference between provision and contingent liability? Probability. Means both are same, but difference based on probable. We cannot express in monetary terms, means it cannot be estimated. Means any expense which can be estimated is a provision. You want to say that? चलो ठीक है. Anyone want to add something to contingent liability? Huh? Which is uncertain. The provision is certain. Provision is certain. Abhi you said provisions are uncertain. Now you are changing yourself. Means I am confused now. I mean, right now you are saying contingent liability are uncertain. The provision means certain. First you think what you want to say. And so what actually happened? You have done AS 29, but somebody is asking a question, you are confused. You are confused. Yes or no? And when you are confused, it means you don't know AS. Correct? And then also you pass CA inter examination. Are bolna rahe? Are you pass CA inter examination na? And in exam, whatever question came for AS 29, that was correct also. The solution was correct. The same thing will apply in final. Whatever you applied in CA inter, multiple attempt ka. So you need to change the process of learning. And with this initial classes, I just inform you how to read any chapter, not only for FR, for any subject at CA final point of view. Okay, sir. The last question. Provision for doubtful debt. Provision for doubtful debt, whether it is a provision or contingent liability. Provision. It is a provision. Okay, chalo. Now, whatever answer you have given, I will try to rectify it. And now, after my explanation, same question I will ask you, and it is my full confidence that you will give me correct answer. Understood? Yes, sir? Chalega. Now, do you know a term? Now, I am just starting from CA inter. Let us come to CA inter first. Do you know there is one term, contingencies? Contingencies, this word have you heard? Contingencies, where you have heard? There was one AS4, contingencies and event occurring after balance sheet date. Contingencies and event occurring after balance sheet date. But no teacher will teach contingencies part. Every teacher will teach event occurring after balance sheet date. The reason was what? After introduction of AS 29, most of the contingencies, not all contingencies, were covered under AS 29, but not all contingencies. Understood? And from examination point of view, from AS4, they used to ask only question from event occurring after balance sheet date. Their teacher will never teach what? Contingencies. Correct? But I need to explain what is the meaning of contingencies. So this meaning right now I am explaining as per AS4. AS4. Got this point? I mean, right now I am not teaching you Ind AS. This word contingencies has not been defined under Ind AS. So I am starting from CA inter, then I will merge with word CA final. Okay? Chalega? So what do you mean by contingencies? Contingencies means what? Any situation or any conditions, correct, which is existing on BS. BS means balance sheet, na? Akka? Okay. Balance sheet date. Now under Ind AS na, will not use the word balance sheet date. We'll use the word reporting date. So now we'll change from balance sheet date to reporting date. Chalega? So you can also write down reporting date. Both are same. A reporting date. So any situation or condition which is existing on balance sheet date means already existing, means this arises from past event or future event. Past event. So understood. This is arising from past event. Arising from past event. Correct? Got this point? Yes or no? But for this situation or condition, outcome means the result, what will happen. The outcome of that condition is not known. Situation existing, but outcome is not known. Understood? The outcome of that conditions is not known. Not known to whom? Entity. Not known to entity. And this outcome can be favorable or unfavorable because it is not known. Favorable means it may give rise to income. Unfavorable means it may give rise to expense. Correct? Understood? So it means it can be favorable or unfavorable. And this outcome is dependent on. This outcome is dependent on. So this outcome is dependent on happening or non-happening. Understood? Happening or non-happening of uncertain which event? देखो, uncertain future event. Uncertain future event. So here future event is uncertain, and because of that reason outcome is not known. Got this point? This is the meaning of contingencies. This is the meaning of contingencies. Means one thing is clear, that is contingencies is existing on balance sheet date. Means we know about the condition, and that already arises due to past event. Past event already occurred, but the outcome of that condition will depend upon uncertain future event, and that outcome can be favorable or unfavorable. This outcome can be favorable or unfavorable. Understood? This much you understood? It means now if I say about outcome, so one thing we have understood, it is either favorable or unfavorable. So if it is favorable, or it can be unfavorable. It cannot be both. Understood? Correct? Or it can be unfavorable. I'll take examples, don't worry. Favorable, unfavorable. Favorable means expected income. Expected income. Okay? Expected income. Income include gains. The income is a wider term. So there is no need to say income or gain. Gain is a part of what? Income. However, in Bachpan we used to say income or gain, and gain is also income. Similarly, expense and loss. Loss is a part of what? Expense. When you are saying expense, expense include what? Loss. Are you able to follow me? It means unfavorable means what? Expected expense. Expected expense. Yes or no? But arising from which event? Arising from which event? Past event or future event? Past event or future event? Past event. The outcome, this whether it will be an expense or income, that depends upon what? Uncertain future event. But right now, this is arising from past event. Past event already occurred. So this is arising from what? From past event. Correct? Understood? Means I'll just give an example. A simple example, basic example, class 12 example. See a foundation example. This is the balance sheet date. And fire occurred यहाँ पर. And masonry damage यहाँ पर. Okay. Masonry damage यहाँ पर. So because masonry is destroyed, you need to incur some repair expenses. Yes or no? Second example. This is the balance sheet date यहाँ पर. Fire occurred यहाँ पर. And machine destroyed यहाँ पर. Correct? This is also because repair expense will be after balance sheet date. Means repair expense will be incurred after balance sheet date na. Suppose 29th March fire occurred. So repair expense will be done after 31st March. Correct? So this is also expected expenses. And here also repair expense will be after balance sheet date only. This is also expected expense. But right now we are discussing about first example or second example? First example. This is expected expense due to which event? Future event. I am saying about second example. Think whatever I am saying. This is expected expense arising from which event? Okay. Color. Chalo. My mistake. Now okay. Here also masonry damage. So this is the expected expense due to which event? On this balance sheet date, this is past event or future event? Future event means future year rate. Yes or no? But this is the expected expense due to which event? So right now we are discussing about example 1 or example 2? Example number 1. So condition existing due to what fire? Which arises due to past fire. Outcome, whether repair expense need to be incurred or not to be incurred, that is not known because right now management not decided now. Management not decided. It is quite possible we can sell the machinery and repair expense is not required. That depends upon uncertain future event. So now it means there is a contingency. Right now I am teaching contingencies. Have you understood this point? It is a situation or condition existing on balance sheet date. Outcome of that condition is not known and which is dependent on happening or non happening of uncertain future event. The example number 2 is not covered only. I mean, right now we are discussing about example number 1. Means for this financial statement, example number 2 is not at all relevant. Not at all relevant. Achha, what is the meaning of conservatism? Conservatism. What do you know? Conservatism? Array. Conservatism. You know na? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of conservatism? Future? Huh? Future loss need to be recognized. You need to recognize all future losses. Losses means expense na? Now don't use the word loss. Already I have rectified now. Use the word expense. Expense include what? Loss. Okay, na? So you are saying all future expenses should be recognized. Even income should be recognized. Okay. No, I don't know. You need to say me. Means you are saying we should not recognize expected or future income. We should recognize all future income. Oh my God, sir. Don't ask questions, sir. We pass CA foundation, then CA inter. Pura. We just try to. This is a very small question of CA foundation. And that also you are not able to say correctly at CA final. Suppose this question they ask in interview. After you pass CA final exam, which is one of the toughest exam in India. So what that person will think about you? How you passed? Am I right or not? Right now, we are family member. I will not say anything about you to outside market. Because I also went to this phase also. I know your condition right now. Same condition was also mine condition when I passed CA final. Not this much. Just try to understand. So I will not complain about you. But what about that person who want to take you as a part of the company? If you are not able to answer correctly. And they want perfection. Yes or no? Because you pass, you are a chartered accountant. And they have a lot of expectations from you. Once you become CA, you represent India as a chartered accountant. You will say proudly, I am a chartered accountant. Yes or no? So there are a lot of expectations from you. Entire stock market depends upon our sign. Yes, Ray. Entire stock market depends upon your sign or not. Our one wrong sign in Reliance Industry balance sheet will affect stock market. So we are therefore chartered. We are chartered now. Therefore, chartered means important, special. We are a special person. Company secretary, CS, no chartered. Company secretary. Correct? Cost and management accountant, no chartered. We are accountant but chartered accountant. A special word has been given to us. You know the meaning of chartered? Chartered plane. Chartered plane is special plane, na? Are bolna re. Just we are very respected person in India. Got this point? So, I don't know what you know about conservatism. I mean, right now, whatever we are doing, that is conservatism only. So, if you are saying conservatism is all future expenses, 100% wrong. Means, just try to understand, if I just give example as per your definition. As per your definition, suppose this is the balance sheet date. And can you say, right now we are preparing the financial statement of this year. And can you say, in this year, we'll pay salary to the employee or not? Will pay salary or not? So at this point, and they are our employee only. And we know we need to pay. Certain also. Expected also. Are bola re. Even though they will go, some other employee will come. Means we need to pay this much salary or not. But whether we can recognize this salary here. So this is a future expense. You only said all future expense will be recognized. You only said, no, I am not saying. With the definition, whatever you have said, that is 100% wrong. Means in foundation, your teacher has bana diya bekoof. Now, no, nothing. I have given chance. Once the chance is given, they will say reject. Company will say reject. Now, after 6 months, you can again come. Once again, I have given chance to you. Now, after this example, you are modifying the answer. I say you know everything. But you don't know. That only I want to say. I'm coming to you. Let me complete my first entire point. Otherwise, I will forget. So what I want to say, when you are saying future expenses, that is not correct. You should say all expected expenses arising from past event need to be recognized. But all expected income arising from past event will not be recognized. This is conservatism. Conservatism means we are afraid of future. So income, if it is expected, if it does not arise, don't recognize. We have fear, but expenses, we should make some provision for that. We are very much conservative. So conservatism principle says that all expected expenses arising from past events should be recognized, but all expected income arising from past events should not be recognized. Therefore, this expected income will not be recognized. This only we have done now. And this is nothing but contingent asset. Oh, this is contingent asset. In your bachpan, you have done contingent asset will not be recognized. You remember? This is nothing but contingent asset. This is nothing but contingent asset. Have you understood? Now, for expected expenses, what they say? If it is probable, probable means what? Chances are more than 50%. Don't say highly probable, only probable. The word is probable. So when you are saying probable means chances are more than 50%. When you are saying highly probable, then the meaning will change. Got this point? Highly probable can be 80% now. Arey bolna re. So probable means chances are more than 50% and amount can be estimated because expected. We don't know the actual amount. Can you estimate it? If yes, then they say recognize. Recognize such expenses or losses. Recognize such expenses or losses. Are you able to understand? But if this is other cases means what? If it is not probable or amount cannot be estimated, means probable but amount cannot be estimated, quite possible, then you should not recognize it but disclose it. Not recognize means disclose, so it will not be recognized. Not recognized. It require what? Disclosure. This was contingencies. So first I have explained contingencies. Believe me, it was not at all required from examination point of view. Because till now I have not started Ind AS 37, but I know the importance of this word in CA life. If you have understood this much now, you can express your opinion anywhere. Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? Disclose. Okay? This much you understood. Means one thing is clear that, I mean, right now, if you are saying accounting treatment, do we require accounting treatment for this situation? For this, there is no accounting treatment because we are not recognizing any expected income arising from past event. Yes or no? So it means we need to focus on this. So if I say expected expense, for your understanding, I am also writing the word loss because you are habituated of the word loss in conservatism principle. So expected expense. Now this expense can arise due to two reasons. There can be two reasons. One is due to decline in the value of asset. One is due to decline in the value of asset. Yes or no? Can you give me some example? I was expecting depreciation. You say depreciation. Depreciation is not due to conservatism principle, nalayak. Whether depreciation is an expected expense, that actual expense of that year. And depreciation is due to conservatism. I have used this furniture in this year, so depreciation of this year will be charged to PL account. So whether we are discussing about depreciation right now, I was expecting you will say depreciation. Because we are in CA Foundation, CA Inter. I just want to change you. Believe me, after 10 classes now, whatever I will ask, you will give me correct answer. Because I will convert you from CA Inter to CA Final. I mean, right now you are in conversion stage. Can you give me some example? No example. The best example is provision for doubtful debt. After once I say now, then don't respond. Correct? Because I don't have so much time to wait now. I am just giving you chance. I want you to react. Once you start reacting, you become CA. But you need to react before me. The best example is provision for doubtful debt. Isn't you know provision for doubtful debt? That is decline in the value of what? Debt due to what expected losses? Doubtful. He may not pay. Outcome is dependent on whether he will pay or he will not pay. Got this point? The best example is that. Second, due to increase in the value of what? Liability. Increase in the value of liability. Now, due to increase in the value of liability, means can I say it requires settlement in future? Settlement means we need to pay something. Liability means what? There is some obligation to pay in future. So it means, can I say it will result in outflow of resource. Resource means what? Any cash or any asset. It will result in outflow of resource. And whenever there is any expected expenses which will result in outflow of resource, that is provision. Means in this part AS 29 is applicable. And now AS 29 become what? Ind AS 37. Means for this part AS 29 and Ind AS 37 is not applicable. Because there is no outflow of resource. Whenever there is a decline in the value of asset, means debtor decline, whether there is any outflow of resource? No. Means can I say it will either result in provision or what? Or contingent liability. Are you getting what I am saying? Are you able to understand? Are you able to understand? Correct. Now to understand whether you have understood not one question. Whether provisions are liability. Whether provisions are liability. Arey bhai, every liability will become expense also. I am asking about asset liability. Expense income is something different. Asset liability is something different. Increase in liability is an expense, decrease in liability is an income. So I am asking about liability, I am not asking about expense. Expense already have written, yes, it is an expense. We are not discussing about income. We are discussing about what? Expense. What I am saying, this provision is a liability, it is not a liability. Yes, because already I have written, check, I have mentioned now, it means provisions are liability. Provisions are liability. Provisions are liability. Understood? correct? Arising due to past event, correct? My question to you all, second question, whether provision for doubtful debt is a liability. Whether provision for doubtful debt is a liability. Yes, no, you have two options only. Why you are thinking so much? Either say yes or no. Provision for doubtful debt is a liability, it is not a liability. Yes. Whether you have shown in the liability side of the balance sheet or you deduct from debtor. You have never shown in the liability side of the balance sheet how it is a liability, whether there is an obligation to pay. You are my debtor. If you will not pay me, whether I have an obligation to pay or I have a right to receive. There is no obligation to pay. How it can be a liability? Bachpan, CA foundation, CA inter. Understood what happened in your life? What happened in your life? I always say CA is difficult because of our Indian education system in class 11 and 12. 11-12 was the foundation of accounts. And there only respecting all the good teachers. Because I am also teacher, I know we should be respected. We are very respected person. Respecting all, but they spoiled our life. They spoiled our life in 11-12 only by doing all the rectification in commerce. This is the fact. If 11-12 accounts, the foundation was given in correct way, CA foundation was so damn easy. So, leaving. Provision for doubtful debt, there is no obligation to pay, it is not a liability. So my question to you all, if it is not a liability, whether provision for doubtful debt is a provision? Abhi, I said provision means what? You only said na provision means what? And this is covered where? The provisions are liability. Now, Abhi, right now I proved that provision for doubtful debt is not a liability. So whether provision for doubtful debt is a provision? No. Now apply your common sense. Forget whatever you have done. And therefore, the name is only not correct. The terminology is not correct. Provision for doubtful debt, the wrong terminology has been given by our traditional accountant. Our Ind AS says the correct term is allowance for bad and doubtful debt. In Ind AS, we'll never say, means in CA final classes, I mean CA inter, so I never say provision for doubtful debt because I teach CA inter and CA final. And I know you'll come where? In CA final. So those students have taken CA inter from me, they know about this fact. But in CA inter, provision for doubtful debt chalta hai. But in CA final, if we'll use provision for doubtful debt, they will after 6 months, come after 6 months. Oh, come after 3 months. Sorry. No, not because of this. I'm just saying ki what actually happened and now how you should rectify yourself. Believe me, I'm not demotivating you. There is nothing to show my knowledge. There is nothing to inform you that you don't know anything. Because when I become CA, believe me, the same position I was also having. Any all India rank is also same person. After that, we have done a lot of research. But minute things you should know. Correct? Because interview, they will check you from this only. Got this point? It means can I say provision for doubtful debt is not a correct term? Therefore, in Ind AS, will you say allowance for bad and doubtful debt? A better term is impairment loss. Have you done AS 28? AS 28 you have done. In new scheme of CA inter syllabus, you are from old scheme of CA inter syllabus, then to bye bye. Then AS 28 was not a part of CA inter syllabus. But in new scheme of syllabus, AS 28 was introduced. But you know about AS 28, impairment loss. Impairment loss will be covered here, but decline in the value of asset. So better, this is what decline in the value of asset is nothing but impairment loss. We call it what? Impairment loss. And it will be covered in respective Ind AS. Respective Ind AS. Means this is not covered where? In Ind AS 37. Even though it will be also arising from what? Contingencies only. Contingencies only. Means examples are what? If I am saying inventory में बचपन में you have done cost price or NRV which is lower. This is nothing but impairment loss. If you purchase at rupees 100, but you are expecting that it will be sold at rupees 90, so 10 is what? Expected loss. Due to which principle? Conservatism. But not covered under Ind AS 37 because this will not give rise to any liability. There is no obligation to pay. But it is an expected loss or not? This will be covered where under Ind AS 2 coming soon. Now I am writing Ind AS number only. We are not concerned about AS now. Similarly for PP, PP means what? Property, plant and equipment. Which AS? AS 10. Correct. Then we have IP. IP means what? Investment property. There was no AS. AS 13, but very small portion was given. Chodo na AS. Now start saying about Ind AS. So now I will not say AS because a lot of confusion will be there. So I will leave AS. Now I will only say about Ind AS. Otherwise, a lot of confusion will come. Okay. I will not use the word AS now. Okay, sir. And IA. IA means what? Intangible asset. Intangible asset. If you don't know, write them full. But you know IA means what? Intangible asset. For that, impairment loss is covered under Ind AS 36 coming soon in your life. Correct? Ind AS. Write down. I will come to you. Don't worry. I will give you chance. I am the only teacher who gives so much chance in the class. You will not find any other faculty at CA final level who will give this much chance to interact. Then for receivable means what? Debtor or any other receivable. We have Ind AS 109 coming soon. Ind AS 109 coming soon, etc. 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 I am not writing everything. But one thing you have understood that for receivable, provision for doubtful debt is not a correct term. Yes or no? Now allowance for bad and doubtful debt will be used. However, most of the CA are using this term only because they know that provision for doubtful debt is not a correct term. Even though they are preparing financial statement for AS based client. Means in your office, if your chartered accountant is using provision for doubtful debt, ask how it is a provision. Ask now. Let's see what answer they are giving. Okay. Now your turn. What is your doubt? No. Impairment loss and depreciation are two different terms. Let me ask you one question because you asked me doubt. What is the meaning of depreciation? What is the meaning of depreciation? This is all foundation definition, bakwas definition. Foundation definition. Foundation is the bakwas. Because whatever we have done not as per AS. CA internal, no? AS 10 you have done. What do you mean by depreciation? whether depreciation means decrease in the value of asset. अरे बोलो yes or no? No. Depreciation does not mean decrease in the value of asset. Suppose I purchase this mobile. Suddenly, this mobile becomes scarce. Means now it become a rare mobile. The value will increase or not. Then also I will charge depreciation on this. Even the value might increase. You purchase one building and building is appreciated. Market value of that building appreciated. अरे बोलना रे, due to boom in the market. Then also you will depreciate or not? Yes. Yes. Why not? Just try to understand what you are saying. Depreciation, decrease in the value of asset. I am saying even though value will increase when you depreciate. So depreciation is not decrease in the value of asset. Depreciation means what? Systematic allocation of cost price of asset during the useful life of asset due to matching concept. Now I will teach you what is matching concept. Means what we do? Cost price divided by number of useful life. Means we are allocating the cost over the useful life of the asset. So it is systematic allocation of cost price, or you can say depreciable amount, over the useful life of asset due to which concept? Matching concept. What do you mean by matching concept? What is the match? What do you mean by matching concept? Expenses should be matched with the income earned during that particular period. Now I have used this AC in this year. By using this AC, student came in my class. I have generated income or not? So therefore, the depreciation need to be charged in this year to match the income which I have earned in this particular year. This is matching concept. Even though the value of asset might increase, this is depreciation. So depreciation, though I am not teaching only depreciation outside the scope of this particular topic. Depreciation is not due to conservatism. Depreciation is not arising to, depreciation is not based on some outcome which is dependent on some uncertain future event. Understood? Therefore, impairment loss, I mean, because you have not done AS 28, even though you have done AS 28, I know you don't know about AS 28. So I'll come to that point. I mean, right now, this is not my objective. My objective is this, to discriminate. See, right now we are discussing about provision, and provisions are liability. The provision for doubtful debt is not covered under Ind AS 37. Got this point? There is one term, provision for depreciation. Maha bakwas term. Because provision for depreciation is not because of this concept. Chalo, provision for doubtful debt, okay, it is due to contingencies. By mistake, traditional accountant have used the word provision for doubtful debt. But provision for depreciation, therefore we never use. No chartered accountant will use provision for depreciation in the financial statement. They will use the term accumulated depreciation. Now from where that name came, provision for depreciation, I also don't know. Totally bakwas name. Totally bakwas name. Got this point? Have you understood? Now we are in a situation to start what? Ind AS 37. I have given the foundation. Now believe me, whatever I will say, you will understand. Whatever I will say. Means one thing is clear, that provision and contingent liability arises from contingencies only. Arises from contingencies. If it is probable and estimated, provision. If it is not probable or cannot be estimated, then don't recognize it, then disclose it as what? Contingent liability, but only for this situation, which will have some outflow of resource. Correct? Now let us come to the Ind AS 37. Now you'll feel some happy situation. If you have done this part in CA Inter, tab maja aata na is part mein. Are you able to understand what I am saying? But that part you have not done. CA Inter, CA Final, have you understood the difference as per my teaching? Because just try to understand. I don't know whether this particular explanation, I also know this is not at all important from exam. But my question to you, whether it is important for CA or not. We are here to become CA or to pass exam. Because we'll earn money only once we become CA. Every CA is not earning money. Every CA is not earning money. You want to earn money, you need to become CA. If you're only passing the examination, you'll just be in the crowd. Got this point? In IPL matches, there are many players. But everyone is not Virat Kohli. Everyone is not Rohit Sharma. Everyone is not Dhoni. Got this point? So you need to become Dhoni, known by everyone. Correct? So you want to pass or you want to become? Now if you say you want to pass, I will change my teaching style. You want to pass the exam? Are bolna re. You want to pass the exam? Are if you become CM is pass the exam na re. Nalayak not. If you are, I am saying if you want to pass or you want to become CA. If you want to pass CA, I will change my teaching style. If you want to become CA, I will continue this. I am asking you only, you want to pass exam? Then okay. Then you will take much time to earn money. You also know many CAs are not earning money. You know this fact or not? 6 lakh, 7 lakh, 8 lakh, 9 lakh, 10 lakh. Achha, whether we are taking so much pain only for 10 lakh? Are bolna 10 lakh divided by 12, how much amount per month? Whether you are here for 1 lakh per month, whether you want to earn 1 lakh per month, I will say don't take so much pain, you will earn 1 lakh after 5 years. So if you are here only for 1 lakh, so why we are taking so much pain, Ray? This is totally painful life. CA is a painful life or not? We need to sacrifice a lot of things. Yes, I also know, I have also sacrificed many things, but not for 1 lakh per month. So if you want 1 lakh per month, leave it. Believe me, you can easily earn in India. Yes, Ray. You know many persons who are not CA, who are not educated, they are also earning 1 lakh. You know many persons, you also know many persons who are earning 1 lakh per month, they are not educated also. You know this point or not? So why you are doing CA? I never understood why CA students say, I am here for 10 lakh job. Arey, you are not for job. Are you for job? You know, job may be also 1 lakh. So leave it. You are here for what? 1 crore per annum. Minimum. But not immediately. Immediately nothing will come. But 1 crore should be your target. Within 3-4 years, you should reach 1 crore. Per annum, I am saying. Then 1 crore multiplied. And we all are from middle class family, yes or no? I was also from middle class family because the CA is not for high class people. There are some exceptions they are doing. But we all 95% students are from middle class family, middle or lower class family. Yes or no? I was also from middle class family. Means when I was doing CA, there was no car, no scooter, no laptop in my home. No car, no bike, no laptop. Means lower middle class na. अरे बोलना रे. So we are from that particular family and we want to achieve something. We want to achieve something na, but not 1 lakh. 1 lakh में क्या होता है? Nothing will happen in 1 lakh per month. Okay. So if you are here for 1 lakh per month, I will say don't take so much pain. You are wasting your time. Believe me, you are wasting your time. So after becoming CA, if you are earning only 1 lakh per month after 5 years, so why you have wasted your so much time? Simple thing. Okay, chalo. Now what we'll do? We'll take because this was not completed, I have not given the break. Okay, so we'll take a short break of 5 minutes, then we'll restart. Okay, yes sir. I will start Ind AS 37 after this. Now, can we start once again, everyone? Okay. Now let us come to the meaning of provision. So what is the meaning of provision? So now what we'll do, we'll take first the meaning of provision, contingent liability and contingent asset, then we'll come to the other part of this particular chapter. What is the meaning of provision? Provisions are liability. Now you know all provisions are liability. Means can I say in this way, all provisions are liability but all liabilities are not provision? All provisions are liability but all liabilities are not provision. Means provision will be shown in the balance sheet under liability only. Means we can say in this way, any provision which require estimation, means any liability which require estimation are provision. So any liability which do not require estimation is what? Not provision. Is not provision. For example, if you have taken loan from bank, that is a borrowing. So borrowing is a liability, but borrowing is not a provision because that does not require any estimation. That does not require any estimation. So provisions are liability of uncertain timing or amount. Either you don't know the amount of payment, or you don't know the timing of payment, or you don't know both. You don't know both amount as well as timing of payment. Got this point? It is quite possible you know what amount to pay, but you don't know when to pay. That is also provision. That is also provision. So provisions are liability of uncertain amount or timing. So can you say whenever I am saying uncertain amount or timing, so it requires estimation. We need to either estimate timing of payment, or we need to estimate amount of payment, or we need to estimate both. Now how to estimate, that we need to understand as per the requirement of Ind AS 37 only. But one thing is clear, that first we need to understand the meaning of liability, then only we can understand the meaning of provision. So what do you mean by liability? What is liability? Present obligation. You are not supposed to read anything. Till I read, you don't read. Correct? Till I read, you are not supposed to read. Whatever you need to answer as per your present understanding. So what do you mean by liability? Present obligation which arises from, अरे गजब क्या बात है. तो देखो provisions, one thing clear, provisions are liability of uncertain amount of timing. So what do you mean by liability? Liability means present obligation arising from past event. Means one thing is clear, that all obligations are not liability. Only present obligations are liability. So what is present obligation? What is present obligation? Means all obligations are not liability. So what do you mean by present obligation? So present obligation means whenever obligations are probable, on reporting date, that obligation become what? Present obligation. That obligation become present obligation. Got this point? So what do you mean by present obligation? Batao. A past event is deemed to give rise to present obligation if it is probable. If it is probable. Probable means what? Chances are more than 50%, or we can say that is more likely than not. It is more likely than not. Means chances of occurrence is more than chances of non-occurrence. Chances of occurrence of that event is more than chances of non-occurrence of that event. Understood? The present obligation means obligations are probable on which date? On reporting date. On reporting date. Reporting date means balance sheet date. Arises from which event? Past event, not from future event. So present obligation arising from past event, the settlement of which, of course it will be settled now or in future. In future, the settlement of which is expected to result in an outflow of resource from the entity. The settlement of which is expected to occur through outflow of resource. Through outflow of resource. Understood? This is the meaning of liability. So there are two conditions. Condition is what? Present obligation arising from past event, and there should be some outflow of resource. Correct? Outflow of resource. Correct? Now I'll ask you some example. You will say whether it is a liability or not liability based on current understanding, not based on past understanding. Correct? Debenture. Debentures are liability or not a liability? Liability or not liability? Liability. Very basic example. But if I say convertible debenture which will be converted into equity shares, it is liability, not a liability. Whether there is any outflow resource. Convertible debenture, you receive some amount from debenture holder, but it will be converted into equity shares. So there is no outflow resource. Now, as per CA inter, it is a liability. But as per CA final, it is not a liability. As per CA inter, converted debenture will be shown under liability side of the balance sheet, but under CA final, it will be shown under equity. I mean, right now I am not teaching you the definition of equity. I mean liability. The one thing we have understood: converted debenture is not a liability. Why? Because there is no outflow resource. It will be converted into equity shares. If it is converted into equity shares, there is no obligation to pay. There is no outflow resource. I said you need to answer as per current understanding. So leave whatever you have done. One last example: redeemable preference share capital. Redeemable preference share capital, equity or liability? Equity means share capital. Liability means after share capital. Redeemable preference share capital. So this is based on current understanding, but as per CA inter, where you used to disclose in share capital, that is was bakwas. Not bakwas because AS is also existing AS. So I can't say bakwas. But you are able to understand what difference now is arising. The redeemable preference share capital is a liability because there will be some outflow of resource. Yes, sir, you understood. So can you repeat the definition? Liability means present obligation arising from past event, the settlement of which is expected to result in a outflow resource from entity. If this liability require estimation, because estimation of what? Uncertain amount of timing, then that liability become what? Provision. That liability become provision. Correct? Means which require measurement by substantial degree of estimation. Now, how to measure, that is a point of discussion that will be discussed in the latter part of this particular chapter. Understood? Correct? It means, can I say, for provision there are three conditions. If that all three conditions satisfied, Ind AS 37 says recognize provision. When I say recognize provision, it means what? Record journal entry. So when I say recognition of provision, means record journal entry. Record journal entry. So when to recognize provision? If all the three conditions are satisfied. What are the three conditions? There must be present obligation arising from past event. There must be present obligation arising from past event. Second, outflow of resource which is required to settle the obligation is also probable. So outflow is also probable. And third, a reliable estimation can be made for the amount or timing of the obligation. A reliable estimation can be made. If all these three conditions satisfied, then recognize provision. Understood? From examination point of view, if the point number 3, the question is silent, always will assume estimation can be made. From examination point of view. So in exam, the question is silent about estimation, always will assume it can be estimated. You can't say it cannot be estimated and therefore will not recognize provision. So write down, if question is silent, always assume. If question is silent, always assume what? Assume estimated. Correct? Got this point? Now, can you see, it means in exam, the most important condition is first condition and second condition. First condition is what? There must be present obligation. Present obligation means obligation are probable. And second condition is outflow is probable. Both need to be probable. Means obligation, the chances of that obligation is more than 50%. And the chances of payment is also what? More than 50%. So both are probable. And both are two different conditions. Both are two different conditions. It is quite possible there must be some present obligation, means obligation may be probable, but if outflow is not probable, then will not recognize provision. Obligation is probable, means there is a present obligation arising from past event, but outflow is not probable, then will not recognize provision. Got this point? Let me take one example. Suppose right now we are managing one office, means we have an office. Suppose consulting we are providing some consulting to our client. So we have set up employee who manage all the tax work, means they will manage all types of tax consultancy. Now suddenly what happened? Income Tax Act changes. Income Tax Act change. And right now we are into 31st March. We are on which day? 31st March. Can you see? It means now this employee required training. We need to train this employee. The training will require some outflow of resource. Yes or no? My question to you, whether provision need to be recognized or provision we can provision is not required. What do you think? Required or not required? One thing is clear, first condition satisfied, because past event is what? IT Act changes, amendment in IT Act. There is a present obligation arising from past event, but can you avoid this payment? Can you avoid this payment? Yes, we can avoid this payment. Can you say, I said this required trained employee, but can you say we can avoid this payment and we can hire new employee? We can hire new employee or not? So it means right now outflow of resource is not probable. Outflow of resource is not probable. So in this case, second condition will not be satisfied and will not recognize any provision. It can be disclosed as contingent liability, but it is not a provision. Contingent liability coming soon. Got this point? It means all these three conditions need to be satisfied. There must be present obligation arising from past event, and outflow of resource which is required to settle the obligation must be also probable. Let me take one more example. This is the very simple example and same type of question they have asked in CE Inter. Suppose Air India, now the Air India has been acquired by Tata company. Okay, suppose Air India purchase one aeroplane for commercial purpose. Now as per National Aviation Act, so there is one act. After every 3 years from the date of purchase, means we are using this for public transportation, there is a high chances of accident. So after every 3 years, what National Aviation Act says that this require major inspection, and this major inspection is not normal repair and maintenance. This requires use expenditure, and the use expenditure estimated, suppose it is what 5 crore. So after 3 years, we need to incur some major inspection. After every 3 years. So can you say right now we purchase, there is a present obligation arising from past event. Once we purchase, we know we need to incur what? Major inspection cost. Amount can be also estimated. Whether provision required, not required. Required, not required. Not required, required. Not required, because can you say before 3 years you can dispose of this aeroplane? Means outflow is not probable. I say both the conditions need to be satisfied. there must be present obligation. Obligation is also probable and outflow must be also probable. Means if you can avoid payment, yes, we can avoid payment. Can you say here the payment depends upon future conduct of business, whether they want to use it or they want to sell it. It depends upon the future conduct of business. So what our Ind AS 37 says that if any obligation is dependent on future conduct of business, if any obligation is dependent on future conduct of business, provision is not recognized. So can you see in our previous example also, the obligation was dependent upon future conduct of business, whether they will hire or they will not hire new employee, and therefore provision is not required. Same thing here also, it is dependent on future conduct of business and therefore will not recognize any provision. Have you understood? No. Going concern means what? How it will affect going concern? Just try to understand. I will sell this aeroplane and I will purchase new aeroplane now. Whether I am saying that they decided to liquidate. I mean, right now I am using this projector. Correct? So I will sell this projector. So when I will sell this projector, whether I want to close this classroom. If I want to sell this projector, whether it means I am closing this classroom, means I am taking what sannyas. I am going to Himalaya. Are bola re? This is only a plant and machinery, property, plant and equipment. So disposing any property, plant and equipment does not mean it will affect our going concern. Got this point? Very good. Whatever doubt come, you need to ask. Good doubt. This type of doubt only you need to ask. Because when you will do revision, this type of doubt will come. That time it will affect you. Good doubt. Have you understood what I am saying? In this case, what is the decision? Decision is what? Whether to use or sell. Whether to use or sell it. If you are using it, then only major inspection required. But if you want to sell it, then this major inspection is not required. Are you able to understand? So right now we don't know. It depends upon future conduct of business. So why you are recognizing provision? Better you disclose it as contingent liability. Means in this, what is not probable? Outflow of resource is not probable. You can avoid it. You can avoid it now. When you cannot avoid the payment, then provision is required. Means you do not have any alternative option but to only pay the amount, then only provision is required. 100% correct? Understood? What's your doubt? Array, we purchase the asset for long purpose only. I am using this calculator from last 10 years. I will never sell anything. I purchased this mobile. My wife is saying dispose. I will say 7 years left. But this depends upon your intention, whether you want to use it or sell it. Depends upon the future conduct of business or not. It depends upon my intention or not. I purchased it for 10 years, but I may dispose it after 1 year only. That is not known. That is not probable. Your expectation and your actual happening is different. Got this point? Have you understood? Correct. So I hope you have understood. So if you have understood this, can I say you understood this point number D? What they are saying, only those obligations which exist independently from entity's future conduct of business should be recognized. Means only those obligations which exist independently from entity's future conduct of business should be recognized. In simple word, we can say those obligations which are dependent on future conduct of business should not be recognized. Should not be recognized means should not be recognized as provision. Understood? Now, can you say these two examples you can do by your own? Already I have given 2 examples. Now, if I read, can I say I am wasting my time? Because similar type of questions will be given. Now, if I read every questions here, then what you will do? Then how you will understand that you are able to understand the question by your own? So now, what is your job? This 2 and 34, if I have not done, do it by your own. If doubt is coming, means you have not understood. If doubt is not coming, means you have understood. Simple. Got this point? Correct. So one thing is clear that this all 3 conditions need to be satisfied. So what our Ind AS 37 says that only those obligations which exist independently from the entity's future conduct of business should be recognized as provision. What is the first condition? What is the first condition? There must be present obligation. Now, obligation or Ind AS are of two types. Obligation or Ind AS are of two types. One is legal obligation, one is constructive obligation. Legal obligation and second is constructive obligation. The obligation can be legal or constructive. This is totally a new term in your life because AS 29 is silent about what? Is silent about constructive obligation. This is the first difference between AS 29 and Ind AS 37. And because AS 29 is silent, you don't know about constructive obligation. It means I need to explain constructive obligation right now. But first, what is legal obligation? Any obligation which arises due to contract or due to any act is what? Legal obligation. Any obligation which is due to contract, legislation or any other obligation or law is what? Legal obligation. Suppose right now we have done one contract. Whatever we have done contract, in this contract you need to pay some amount. So in your books of account there is a liability. So there is an obligation to pay in your books of account. So this is due to what? Contract. This will be which obligation? Legal obligation. Now as per Income Tax Act, on profit I need to pay what? Tax. That is which obligation? Legal obligation. Legal obligation you understood? Now coming to constructive obligation. Constructive means which actually occur due to some statement by the entity. For example, right now I have announced I just want to announce one statement. This is not a part of contract. Statement is what? Any student who score 90 or more than 90 in paper 1 CA financial reporting paper 1 in the exam conducted by ICI. I will refund. I'll give an award. Not refund. I'll give an award of rupees 5,000. Understood? And this is actual announcement. Okay? Got this point? But target is what? 90 or more than 90. So can you say right now I have done my announcement, whether it is a part of contract? No, because you have not accepted it. Contract means offer and acceptance. It is not a word contract. But if I have done my announcement, now as per this announcement, can you say there is a valid expectation that on your mind that I will pay or I will give you an award of what? 5,000. So this is known as constructive obligation. And Ind AS 37 says that if there is a constructive obligation and all other conditions also satisfied, recognize provision for what? Constructive obligation also. Correct also? Means if there is a constructive obligation and there is a present obligation arising from past event and outflow is probable, then recognize provision for that. Now, what amount of provision? That is based on how to measure it. How to measure the amount of provision, that is some other topic. But provision is required, not required, yes. So for each and every constructive obligation, Ind AS 37 will be applicable. So what do you mean by constructive obligation? Derived from entity's own action. So I have done an announcement, it is my action. It may be due to past practice. Means suppose in the past batches, I have given an award of 5,000 on the same happening. You have a valid expectation or not? You have a valid expectation that I'll give an award of 5,000 if you score 90 or more than 90. Or due to published policy, in my website it is published. So can you see you came to my class after going through the published policy? So you have a valid expectation or yes? Or by a specific statement, already I have done some announcement in my class. So it may be either due to past practice or published policies or any specific statement. Correct? Which indicate that entity will accept the responsibility. Of course, I will accept the responsibility. Correct? And create a valid expectation on the part of other party, means you have some expectation that you receive some award. So this is what a constructive obligation. This is a constructive obligation. Have you understood this point? Have you understood this point? Correct? Now what happens, suppose, just try to understand one point. Suppose this is one factory and this is what the premise of the factory, and this is what NH. NH means national highway. You can say one road need to be developed. Who will construct this road? Government or entity? Entity only. Government will do nothing. But this is not the premises of entity. But can you say when they will construct a road, they need to what? Cut the trees. Correct? And of course there will be some what? Damage here also. There will be some destruction. So either they will give some statement, or they have a published policy, or they have some past practice of restoring the land or whatever trees they have cut. So batao whether they have a constructive obligation or not. Yes, it means they need to create a provision if all the three conditions satisfied. All the three conditions satisfied, even though there is no legal, there is no contractual obligation. So for each and every constructive obligation also, if all the three conditions satisfied, we need to recognize provision. Very important from exam point of view. I'll come to this point again. Got this point? So you have understood obligation arising from past event can be legal obligation or constructive obligation. Understood? Yes, sir. Now, whenever there is an obligation, can you say obligation involve some other party? Means whenever there is an obligation, I need to pay some amount to other party. So what Ind AS 37 says, that the identification of that other party is not required. Even though you don't know that person, you need to create what? Provision. So identification of that other party is not required for recognition of provision. So can you give an example? Yes, I have an example also. Suppose I have organized one event, means I am an event management company. So I have organized one event, and due to some accident, something happened, fire occurred, and a lot of people were injured. Now, of course, there is a present obligation that I need to compensate them. Yes or no? But what my accountant is saying, that we don't know the identification of the injured person. How can we recognize the provision? Our Ind AS 37 no. Even though you don't know the identification of injured person, you need to recognize provision if all the three conditions are satisfied. If all the three conditions are satisfied. Understood? Have you understood? Yes, sir. So what they are saying, all obligations involve other party. It is not essential to know the identity of other party for recognition of provision. You can see for point number E, there is no question given in ICA study material. It does not mean question cannot come. But can you see if you know this content, you can answer or not? So will you say out of book? If you know this point, you can answer that particular question. Only it will be in the case study format. You need to apply this point. So from my point of view, for CA final, question is not important, concept is important. How many questions you will do? How many questions you read? But if you know this content, all questions can be done. Got this point? Then coming to the last point of provision, legal obligation. Legal obligation, you have understood, it is due to some act or due to some contract. Now, act require enactment. Act require enactment. You know enactment? Enacted. When it is, means any bill is passed in both the houses and signed by the president and notified in the official gazette of India, it is enacted. Know this point, na? Correct. Now, what are Ind AS 37? The legal obligation arises only when the legislation are enacted. Enacted on which date? On or before 31st March. On or before 31st March. So, legislation are enacted, or it is virtually certain. Or it is virtually certain. What do you mean by virtually certain? Virtually certain means chances are more than 95%. Chances are more than 95%. So whenever I say virtually certain, it means it is equal to certain. It is equal to certain means chances are more than 95%. So probable does not mean virtually certain. Probable means what? Chances are more than 50%. When I say virtual certainty, it means chances are more than 95%. Means equal to what? Certain, but not certain. Okay. It is virtually certain by the end of reporting period that it will be shortly enacted. It will be shortly enacted. Just try to understand, everyone, what they want to say. If I take one example, suppose this is 31st March. 31st March. Okay? Understood? And you have one factory which is doing lot of pollution. Understood? Which is doing lot of pollution. So there may be some act already enacted for cleaning up the environment. If you are polluting the environment, so it will give rise to legal obligation. It will give rise to legal obligation. Are you able to understand? Got this point? Case study you have understood? So there can be actually three situations as per exam point of view. The case one. Case one. Case one is what? Act is already enacted on or before 31st March. Which act? Act for cleaning the environment. Understood? So in this case, batao, whether we recognize provision, will not recognize provision. Recognize provision, we are assuming that all the three conditions are satisfied. That assumption I am taking. Means outflow must be also probable. Act is there, but if you can avoid payment, then no provision. So I am assuming that all the three conditions are satisfied. Got this point? So in this case, provision is recognized. Case number 2. On 31st March, it is virtually certain that such act will be enacted shortly. It is virtually certain on which date? On 31st March. It will be enacted shortly means after 31st March. So how can we understand it is virtually certain? Just try to understand. I'll just give you one fact. You will say whether it is virtually certain or not. Suppose bill has been passed in both the houses. Both the houses means Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Now only what is left? President sign is left and notification left. But the president in India is what? Only a formality. Whether he will reject, whether president will say no, I will not sign. Bola, he is only a formality. He is only for giving awards. Respecting president? Yes or no? President what? What is the role of president? Only giving award. Bharat Ratna, this Ratna, this Ratna. Yes or no? And signing what? Act, bills. Once signed, it become act. So, abhi what is left? President sign is left. But it is virtually certain, it is not virtually certain. It is virtually certain. But don't worry, in exam they will give you some fact. From that fact you will automatically understand it is virtually certain. Or they will use the term virtually certain. Don't worry about that point. But can you see if it is virtually certain, provision is required, not required? Required. Provision is required. Case number 3. देखो, neither case 1 nor case 2. Understood? Neither case 1 nor case 2. But entity has a published policies for what? For cleaning up. For cleaning up. Understood? Now it is given in the question that they have done some announcement, or they have a published policy, or they have a past practice of cleaning up the environment, but the provision is required or not required? Required, because now there is a constructive obligation. Constructive obligation, therefore provision is required. It become constructive obligation. It become constructive obligation, and provision is required. Understood? You can understand the level of CA final. This is the level of CA final. Similar type of question, but at CA final level. Correct? Last point. If I will say case number 4, in either लिखो other cases, better. Other case, so no provision required. Other case means case number 1, case number 2, case number 3 does not exist. Now it means there is no legal obligation, there is no constructive obligation. If there is no legal obligation, there is no constructive obligation, means there is no obligation only. If there is no obligation, the question of recognition of provision will not arise. So no provision. Got this point? Correct. This type of question can be asked in exam. Have you understood? Have you understood the keyword? Keyword is what? Virtually certain. Now if in exam you are not writing the keyword, they will not give marks. If you are not writing the keyword, they will not give marks. So you are not supposed to write down the exact what is given, but keyword is important. Legal obligation, constructive obligation, key, these are the keywords. If you are writing only obligation, suppose you have given answer, yes, provision required because there is an obligation. No, your answer is not correct. Your answer might be correct from your point of view, but your answer is not correct from ICA point of view. You know, in CA final exam, you don't get marks for correct answer. You get marks for the best answer as per ICA requirement. So correct answer does not mean you will get full marks. If you have written best answer as per ICA requirement, you will get full marks. Normally they will give average marks. So if you are not writing the key terms, they will not give marks, and don't expect marks also from them, because here the criteria is selection or rejection. In ICA exam, rejection. Here the criteria is rejection, not selection. They will reject you because only 20%. Everyone knows 20%. So 80% need to be rejected, then only 20% will come now. And therefore marks is given for the best answer, not for the correct answer. So whenever your exam is to think about best answer. Now best answer does not mean your English should be good, your English should be high level. No. Keywords. Chalega. With this we have only completed provision part. Correct? Let me complete the definition part today, and then today we'll call it off. Okay? Now if you have understood provision, contingent liability will not take much time. Now contingent liability, but to explain contingent liability, I need to explain some point about obligation. So when I am saying obligation in this chapter, what are the two types of obligation? Legal or constructive. So we will say legal or constructive. But the arising from which event? Past event. Means that is understood now. Obligation arising from past event. We are discussing about that obligation only. So arising from past event. Now this obligation are actually are of three types, whether legal or constructive. It can be present obligation. Now you know present obligation. Present obligation means it is probable or not probable. Probable. Probable means chances are more than 50%. This to we have already understood. Now second, it can be possible obligation also. And third, it is remote obligation. Remote. What do you mean by remote? Negligible. Very less chance. Negligible. Remote, if I say as percentage, to explain you from percentage point of view, it is less than 5%. Less than 5%. Means can you say it become immaterial? It become immaterial now. And I hope you know that AS and Ind AS applies only to what? Material item. Because immaterial item will not affect the decision of the user. So we don't give importance to immaterial item. Very negligible chances. Ignore it. Ignore it. So what our Ind AS says? No treatment. For these, no treatment. As per which concept? Materiality concept. As per materiality concept. I hope you know about materiality concept. Means I am teaching you CA foundation also. Conservatism, matching concept. Now I come to materiality. I am just linking with CA foundation. So this possible means what? Not probable. It means what? So whenever I say not probable means what? Chances are more than, you can say less than 50% or more than 5%. Correct? Now one doubt will come, sir, if it is equal to 50% then? So actually Ind AS is silent regarding that. Because when I say probability, it is either more or less. It cannot be equal to. Can we say equal to? No, it is impossible. Because whenever we are doing expectation, it cannot be exactly equal to 50%. But from exam point of view, this is what? From exam point of view. If equal to 50% possible. Because probable means chances are more than what? 50%. So from exam point of view, say not practically. Practically it cannot be equal. But in exam it can. In exam it can be equal to 50%. Okay, sir. What I am saying? Yes, sir. Correct. Now, so it means you have understood present obligation, you have understood possible obligation, you have understood remote obligation. Now, when I am saying present obligation, with this I got there are two conditions. Whenever there is a present obligation arising from past event, it does not mean it is a provision. There are two more conditions. When I am saying present obligation arising from past event, it does not mean it is a provision. There are two more conditions. Second condition is what? Outflow. I am writing only outflow. Okay. Third condition is what? Estimation. Estimation. Correct? Means can I say in this way, if these and these also satisfied, then what? There is a present obligation and outflow of resource is probable and amount can be estimated, then this will give rise to what? Means recognized provision. But there can be a situation now. There is a present obligation arising from past event, but either this condition is not satisfied or this condition not satisfied. Means either outflow is not probable or amount cannot be estimated. Have you understood this point? Quite possible or not? Quite possible. So either this is not satisfied or this is not satisfied, then of course it is not a provision. this is not a provision. And it can be possible obligation arising from past event. So in this case, our Ind AS says it become what? Contingent liability. Means disclose it as what? Contingent liability. Disclose it as contingent liability. Got this point? Means can I say in this way, present obligation can be provision or it can be contingent liability also? Yes. So can I give you one definition of contingent liability in simple word from this chart? The contingent liability are present obligation arising from past event which is not recognized either because outflow of resource is not probable or reliable estimation cannot be made, or it is a possible obligation arising from past event. Means all possible obligations arising from past event are what? Contingent liability. Simple definition. Can you repeat with me? The contingent liability are present obligation arising from past event which is not recognized as provision. Why? Because either outflow of resource is not probable or reliable estimation cannot be made, or it is a possible obligation arising from past event. This is the definition of what? Contingent liability. Done? Correct? Let's see what is given. The contingent liability are present obligation from past event which cannot be recognized. Which cannot be recognized as what? Provision. Which cannot be recognized. We recognize only provision. Which cannot be recognized because either outflow of resource to settle the obligation is not probable or reliable estimation cannot be made. Understood? Or they are possible obligation arising from past event. If you write this much now, done. Your keyword is what? This present obligation and possible obligation. So all possible obligation arising from past event are contingent liability. If you want to write down full. The existence of which will be confirmed only by occurrence or non-occurrence of uncertain future event which is not wholly within the control of the entity. Means the existence of that obligation will be confirmed only by occurrence or non-occurrence of uncertain future event. That only we have done in the definition of contingencies. So this become what? The definition of contingent liability. Super easy. Super easy. Recognition. Will you recognize contingent liability? Will never recognize. So not recognize, but it requires disclosure where? In financial statement. When I say financial statement, the financial statement consists of balance sheet, as of statement of profit and loss, statement of changes in equity coming soon in your life, statement of cash flow and notes to account. Means when I say disclose, to disclose will be always where? In notes only. So even though I am writing in financial statement, it does not mean you will disclose in balance sheet. You disclose where? In notes to account. All disclosures are given where? In notes to account. Got this point? Have you understood? Simple. So not recognized but required disclosure unless outflow is removed. Means if outflow resource is removed, then once again immaterial, once again ignore. Means whenever there is a remote chances, then this is as per materiality concept, no treatment. So unless outflow resource is removed, chalega. Understood? Then what is given? There is one special point, and I have seen from this point they have asked one multiple choice question in one of the exam. Means from this point there was no question from this point in ICS study material, but from this they created one MCQ question. Means MCQ question require proper understanding of each and every point. Means with MCQs more concept clarity is required. So when there was no MCQs, believe me, I used to say, "ठीक है ना, these are the questions, you need to understand this." Now with MCQs, this 30 marks become important. 30 if you got 25, you pass. Simple pass now. Correct? So our objective will be what? At least we need to score 20 marks out of 30. At least I am saying. If you are scoring 20 or more than 20 in MCQs, means 100% pass in that particular subject. Okay. So what they are saying, where an entity is jointly and severally liable, where you have done this type of point sentence, I think in partnership firm. Any partners are jointly and severally liable in a partnership firm, correct? So when an entity is jointly and severally liable for an obligation, the part of the obligation that is expected to be made by other party is treated as what? Contingent liability. What is the question? Just try to understand. Suppose there are two companies, X Limited and Y Limited. Company, because right now we are doing for company, not for individual. India is not applicable to individual. Company. And they are partner. Company can be a partner in partnership firm. Whether company can be partner in a partnership firm? Yes or no? Yes. Yes. And suppose XY Limited. Sorry, XY firm kar do. It is a partnership firm. Correct. Now, there was some fraud and 100 crore is the liability and their sharing is 50:50. Correct. It means their obligation is what? 50 crore. Their obligation is 50 crore. Suppose all the condition of provision is satisfied, means they will create a provision for which amount? This amount. Y Limited will create a provision of which amount? 50 crore. But can I say, if X Limited, in the books of X Limited, if Y will not pay their part of obligation, then who need to pay? X Limited. Because they are severally and jointly liable. It means for the part of the obligation Y Limited, X Limited need to create a contingent liability of what? 50 crore. So they will also create a contingent liability of what? 50 crore. And they will also create a contingent, means they will not create, they will disclose the contingent liability of what? 50 crore. Understood? Have you understood this point? Good example or not? Now this type of questions require proper conceptual understanding and revision. Otherwise you will forget only. Will forget or not? Because we have a small mind. Small mind na? Correct? And with lot of garbage. A lot of unwanted things in our mind. Chalega? Yes sir. So now if you read, you will be able to understand. When an entity is jointly and severally liable for an obligation, the part of the obligation that is expected to be made by other party is treated as contingent liability. So in the books of X Limited, the obligation of Y Limited will become what? Contingent liability. In the books of Y Limited, the obligation of X Limited will become what? Contingent liability. Chalega? Understood? Chalo, to this much only. So, abhi just today also I was very slow. Means today also I have not done anything. Okay. Now dire I will increase my dire, not suddenly. Once I will come to Ind AS 16 now, property, plant and equipment, I will increase thoda sa speed. Okay. So it will be after 5 days. After 5 days you will be acquainted with me. You will be able to understand my emotions. I will be also able to understand your emotions, and then of course I can increase the speed. But today was okay. You have understood everything? Chalo, today this much only. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Take care. Enjoy your remaining day. Bye bye.